Okay, so my cons about arbitrage is, first of all, I've never done it, so I don't know too much about it. But what my interpretation about arbitrage is that there's going to be value on one side and it's not going to be value on the other side. So I'm kind of struggling. Why would you want to bet that is no value when you know the value is on the other side? But at the same time, I think depending on your starter bankroll, let's just say you have $1,000 to bet with, and the price on both would be 205. Then it would be easy to stake it, because you could basically stake 500 on each, and regardless of the outcome, you're going to end up with 1,025. My math is correct, but what if I then told you, like, look, instead of betting 500 on both, you bet 525 on option A, and you bet option A, which is the value, and you bet 475 on option B, which is not the value. So you're only risking 50, but really you're not risking 50 because the odds is greater than 2 on both. So you're risking about 25, but your EV is going to be increased. So it's kind of like you're getting a 25 euro free bet. So if you have access to those things and you want to go that way, sure, it's going to be plus EV, it's going to be smart, but I would always skew my risk to be more towards the value rather than the ARB. And at the same time, what if there's all the value bets that are occurring when you have all your money locked up? You're going to lose out on EV, but yeah, you're going to also slowly build your bankroll. So there's pros and cons regarding doing that. And of course, there's zero or close to zero variance when you do it the arbitrage way. It's a bit of variance if you're doing it my way, but it's really not much variance at all. Value betting, pros and cons. Cons, variance. Like, even though you're gaining EV on every single trade, we ran some simulations earlier that we can put a link around here in the description below. And if people want to look at that, like, they're going to understand what I'm talking about. Basically what we did is, like, we simulated a lot of odds around even money, and we said we're going to have an edge of 2.5%. We said that if you're betting like sort of active, like 6 hours a week or something, you should be able to get in around 400 trades. But even with 400 trades, you're going to have like a chance of losing by the end of the month of like 30% or something like that. So it's going to be a variance compared to arbitrage, but what you're expected to earn is going to be much higher, and the potential could be huge. And yeah, I guess that's the main arguments. Like, at least when I do something, I prefer to like have the potential to earn a lot more than knowing I'm going to earn little. Like, if I knew I was going to be happy with whatever salary that a regular like A4 life kind of people are earning, you're earning 20 or 15 to 40 pounds an hour, you're working all these set days, like I think everyone kind of is working hard trying to get financial freedom, and it's not that hard either. And you can do it within betting, and you can do it in so many other ways, but you're gonna have to take risks to get there. And I guess that's one of the cons with value betting, that it's not guaranteed that it's gonna work out, but the process, you're gonna have an opportunity to really make a difference for your life and your financial future. So
yeah, I can't remember if you touched upon this, but with value betting, it's also a lot more difficult for the bookmakers to spot that you're doing it versus arbitrage.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's like all of the big companies delivering services to the bookmakers, companies like Sport Radar or SB Tech, they all have like arbitrage finders. So the risk managers who are limiting you at these bookmakers, they will be looking for like those arbitrage bets.
Yeah.
And if a lot of people are placing the same arbitrage bets, then that's a very easy way to get flagged.
And I guess in order to have an arbitrage in a Premier League game, for example, you got to need an edge of maybe 7% or 8%. But if you're going to have an edge like in a lower league game where the margins are much higher, you might be looking at like 12, 13% in order to be an arbor. So it's kind of like you're giving away so much in order to be able to arb out compared to just letting the run and taking on the variance. and the arbing opportunities is not going to be that many compared to the value bets.
Yeah, I think that was something you touched upon when we filmed earlier, was that the value usually occurs in the small leagues too.
Yeah, for the arbing. So it's usually like lower limits.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for that reason, I've never done arbing, and I've just tried to trust what I'm doing and think that I have an edge. And if I think I have an edge, I'm willing to risk it.
Yeah, so just to sort of summarize that, another thing is that most likely the arbitrage opportunities will occur in smaller leagues where you also have a lot smaller limits at the bookmakers, and they're also going to stick out a lot more when you are betting on them. So that's one of the cons there. I also wanted to mention we had a Danish guy who wrote a guest article for the Trademate Sports blog, and he was an arbitrage bettor by trade, and that's what he had been doing for 3 years, I think. And he'd been making good money on it, but he decided that he was going to switch over to value betting instead, because he was essentially paying an insurance fee to Pinnacle in order to complete his ops. And he had, kept track of his profit and losses at all the bookmakers he had been using, tracking all of the arbitrage bets. And it was very, very clear that, making money on the soft side of the bookmakers and then losing money on Pinnacle. If I just place these value bets at the soft bookies instead of arbing them out at Pinnacle, I would have made a lot more money. That was the conclusion he came to, and that's sort of why he moved over to using Trademate instead of arbing. It's a great read. Can't remember the name of it, but we'll link to the article in the show notes below this video, so make sure to check them out.